Mark
He
Carney?
stepped into politics for the first time,
goodness.
so that's a reinvention.
Okay, well, first of all, let's take that idea that he stepped into politics for the first time just park it.
The CBC decided to have former opposition leader Andrew Scheer on to talk about the Conservative Party's future, and I bet she wasn't expecting it to go this way.
And in terms of continuing to get people to come on to your side that will vote for you, that didn't vote for you in the last election, you have a very solid base of young men. A lot of women did not connect with the party. A lot of older Canadians did not connect to the party. So will there be policies and concrete plans in place that would address those issues, that would speak to those people?
Well, I don't accept the premise. We have historic numbers of votes from women as well. In fact, I think I can't remember the exact numbers, but in many demographics, in many regions, we had an advantage that the Conservatives have never seen before amongst all Canadians, amongst men and women, young and old. I know people in my own riding who have voted Liberal in many elections, and they had to go and get jobs in their 70s because the Liberal inflationary policies have eroded the power of their pension. So they're working again at 72, 73 years old. They're not happy about that. They voted Conservative to end the inflationary policies of the Liberal government. Clearly, there is a demographic. There's a group of Canadians that decided to go with the Liberals instead of Conservatives. We got to figure out why. Was that a policy thing? Was it a messaging thing? Was it a timing thing? Sometimes these things can be boiled down to very complex things or very simple things, and we're going to do that methodically. We're not going to let political pundits who don't knock on doors tell us why they think the
sure,
issues came from.
I do understand that, but we have to address the fact that heading into the election, the Conservatives had an enormous lead. They very quickly and very dramatically lost that lead. And so what occurred there under Pierre Poilievre's leadership?
I'm not sure you can make that comparison almost like it's a sports game and saying, well, somebody has a certain amount of lead and then the other team scores a bunch of points. In December of 2024, about 42% of Canadians were saying that they were going to vote Conservative. On Election Day, about 42% of Canadians voted Conservative. What we saw was a complete collapse of the NDP, an unprecedented implosion.
Absolutely.
Where in many situations that vote did go to the Liberals. Now, not in every place. We did get a lot of former NDP voters voting for us in places like Welland and St. Catharines and here in British Columbia. Vancouver Island, huge gains in British Columbia. So that's when I talk about the gains that Pierre made, I mean, no one, if you had told me after the 2021 election that our next leader was going to win St. Catharines, win seats on Vancouver Island, win the youth vote, get 42% of the vote, it'd be like, well, fantastic. Tell us who that leader is and we'll just put him in right now, So I look at the situation we're in right now. Incredible opportunity, incredible gains. Let's absolutely learn those lessons, but let's not forget that what Pierre was able to put together was incredible. When our previous leader stepped down, we were a party that was down in the polls. We had a lot of divisions with our own caucus, our own party, major policy changes on key issues. Pierre came in and said, no, we're going to be principled. We're going to take our rock-solid Conservative ideas that we know will improve Canada. We're going to take them to the Canadian people in a way that will resonate with people. And he did. And he held the line and stood on principle on the carbon tax, on drug legalization, on easy bail for dangerous offenders. And those are the prescriptions. And the irony of all this is, when we're talking about the last few years, is that the only way the Liberals could win this election was by pretending to be something they're not after dumping their leader. I mean, Justin Trudeau was a leader of the Liberal Party that did not want to leave. They had to basically, pull him off with a crowbar and then bring in a leader who suddenly is trying to reinvent themselves. I think that is a credit to the Conservative movement. What's that?
How did he suddenly try and reinvent himself?
Mark
he
Carney?
Stepped into politics for the first time, so that's a reinvention.
Okay, well, first of all, let's take that idea that he stepped into politics for the first time just park it.
Okay.
He was Justin Trudeau's senior economic advisor.
I should not have worded it that way. He did not hold office.
Has been a partisan Liberal for quite some time. Look, he's trying to change the rhetoric. If you look at what he's been a crusader for his whole life, he is a big elitist who wants the government to control the economy. He is a radical zealot on things like carbon taxes. He actually complained that Justin Trudeau's carbon tax was too low. So here's a great example of reinventing yourself. On one day, you're saying Justin Trudeau's carbon tax is too low. The next day, you're saying that you're going to get rid of it. That's
is
a pretty
that
big
perhaps
reinvention.
not listening to what Canadians are asking for?
Okay, but it also tells you that it's not a core belief from him. He had to reinvent himself. So you can give him credit for being a chameleon and being anything that he thought the voters wanted. But I think then you would have to concede that he's not, that he wouldn't, that would represent a shift in principles, or that he never had those principles in the first place. Okay. So I just make the point that what Pierre was able to do as leader of the opposition was to massively change the issue set in Canada to a more conservative flavor, and force the Liberals to make major policy reversals, including dumping their sitting prime minister.
At this point, it really shouldn't shock me, but it still blows my mind that the CBC will continue to defend Trudeau, the Liberal Party, and Mark Carney every step of the way. Anyway, I would like to know what you think down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you are new, and thank you very much for watching.